Good evening, everybody. It's 7 o'clock on a Monday night, and it's time for mental mind treatments. More and more people are becoming aware that sometimes for me to get their order, I guess I could call it an order, to get their order in, they're texting me or emailing me. And so I have several people's names with what they want mental mind treatments for. If you are new, or you come on and start listening to this at another time period, I learned, actually, I should say start at the beginning. Sorry about that. Is that I wanted a prayer method that worked, and so I learned what they call spiritual mind treatment. But because I'm also a psychic, I decided when I wanted to put this program together that I would call it mental mind treatments, because that's what we're doing. We're affecting the mind. So they're mental mind treatments. And I also ask for three numbers between 1 and 22 so that I can get a little bit more information regarding what actually is going on. I just need a result that you're wanting. I just want to say hello to the people that have come in, because the majority of them are already, well, I have most of them, not all, but Kayla is on, Marion is on, Maggie G is on, and Karen Lee Eklund is on. And she's just, thank you, you're giving me some numbers. I picked some. Let's see if I'm close. I'm pretty close, actually. I had 17,312, but you 15,317 is fine too. Anyway, so we're going to start today actually with Karen Lee's mental mind treatment. What we've got here is for strength and perseverance and releasing the past easily. I've got my English around a little wrong here as I wrote it down. So with your 15, 3, and 17, it's like to let go of the emotion. It's to really unhook from all the emotional element of, and allow the love to begin to flow. And sometimes, I use color a lot for myself and for clients when I'm doing certain things, but it's like, think about the emotion and the fear and all of these things. We're wanting strength, we're wanting perseverance, we want to let go, all of it. What color is that which we are holding on to? And then think of what color would free that up. And so that we can let go of the past, we can let go of those memories, we can let go where we're stuck. It's not that we don't go back and maybe remember, but it's like we're not stuck there. We're not living in that. And so as I move into the treatment part of this, I just want to, as I'm drawing a breath, and say, I know there is one power and there is one essence. And as I speak my word for Karen Lee, I know that I have inner strength, I have perseverance, and I let go of anything that holds me back from being that, from being my strength, by being my perseverance for how I want things to work. I let go because I know that I am loved and I can utilize that love energy, whether as a color, whether as an energy, to fill up the spaces as I let go. We don't deal in empty spaces. We always replace. And the lovingness will always replace. And as you rebalance what you have here with the 17, as you rebalance into beauty, as you become balanced into the awareness of your strength, of your perseverance, of your goals and your objectives, and anything else that is not a goal or an objective, anything else that is hindering, excuse me, I have to move something on my table here, anything that's other than what you are wanting, what we do is we let go. And in the letting go of that, you become into perfect harmony, into perfect balance, and perfect awareness of where you're heading and where you're going and what you're doing. I'm sorry that might get a little shaky on the picture. My left arm decided it had a busy day today and it doesn't really want to cooperate. So sometimes, and because I'm writing on the booklet here, maybe if I move my computer, oh no, we'll just leave it. Just know that I apologize already in advance if it shakes a little. But I know that there is a flow of energy through, and it's about letting go. It's not about looking back. It's about looking ahead. It's about seeing all that we want to see in strength, perseverance, and love and light. So it's like, how do you want your life? It was funny. I was reminded of a statement earlier, I think it was yesterday, saying to, that I used a lot for many years actually. Today is the first day of the rest of my life. Today. And you know, I live in love and light. I like began to some of the old things we worked on for years and years just began to flow back in. And sometimes we can do that. Today is the first day. In other words, my thinking, my feeling, my responding is current, not from the past, not from my fears, not from my I'm not sure. And this goes for anybody and everybody, is that we need to let go what isn't working for us or is holding us back and move into that place so we can release the past. The past is the past. We don't forget it. I didn't say forget. I said we release where we're stuck. And so it is. Now, her mother, Carrie Lee's mother, Margaret, I picked three numbers for her. And I got 6, 5, and 1, which is actually a little bit of confusing, needing more knowledge and awareness, and that everything is possible. And I wrote down to release this life and to go with ease and grace because she's coming towards the end of her life and she's a little frightened of that. So we want her into the new. It is new, it is different. And actually, in some ways, it is freedom. But when you're frightened, when you're concerned, when you haven't really given spiritual awareness or thought or the larger picture any thought or any awareness, sometimes it can be very, very frightening at the thought because we hear a lot. And I think I got this one time when we already worked on this, that there was a lot of the hellfires and damnation around at some point in her life, and that there is the fear of that. So, as I speak my word for Margaret, I know that the releasing of this life and to flow into the next element of our lives, the next aspect of our lives, the next movement of our lives, where we leave this physical form into the next form, that it will be done with ease and grace. The letting go of the pain, the letting go of all the instances that stay buried in the mental focuses, and that it's really hard to understand, and to allow the door or even a window to open where love can flow through and in, and to remember that one of the greatest things about surrendering at that moment of death is the forgiveness that flows in, that you already are forgiven. We hold on to the judgments, we hold on to the fears, we hold on to all those things, but the reality is that really we just need to forgive ourselves. Nothing is held against us. Nothing is given like in that a lot of times they talk, you're looking at your book. Yes, you might look at your book, but you already go through the forgiveness stage and know that you're just looking for clarity, for understanding, so that you can move forward in such a way that you can create peace within and peace into that afterlife, into that knowingness of all that which is, for it is wondrous. And I know that for Margaret right now, there's a tension there. And I just sort of, sometimes I use magic elixirs in my work. I'm just going to drop some magic elixir so that it begins to relax the tension and her expectations, etc., that it dispels them. And in the dispelling of them, everything is possible. The forgiveness, the wonderment, the sense of knowing there is so much more awaiting. And I give so much thanks in knowing that in letting go all that tension that is inside, there is freedom and it's peaceful, and that the love is allowed to come in and transform that tension of being. And so we allow it to go. And so we breathe out and we give love and light, knowing that all is done and it is there. And I say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. I'm just going to read out what I've got on my sheet before I come to anybody else that might have something to wants done. Now, Kayla sent me an email, and what I wrote, I sort of took some of what she said and then sort of rewrote it. But clarity and confidence as she moves out joyfully into new energy of loving and caring for herself. 321 and 3, which is great. This is all about loving self. I was thinking about the loving of self the last few days too. Is that sometimes we forget, and I know in my transformation work, one of the categories I work on is to love yourself and life, and I add the two together. Because if we don't love ourselves, then what happens is we beat ourselves up because we're not perfect, or we didn't do it right, or if someone criticizes something and we take it to heart, and all of that really doesn't matter, because in the law of love, you are totally accepted and loved for you, no matter what. No matter what. And that's what people, when you feel guilty or regretful or whatever, that's really hard sometimes to embrace 100% because you feel guilty or you feel regretful. And so it becomes really important to recognize that to love yourself first is so important, because then you can bring everything in your life into balance. You become balanced in the awareness of who you are, that you become a light from you, radiating around you. Your aura lights up. You feel compassion. You have awareness. But it doesn't mean you give yourself up. You're able to honor yourself because you're loved. And you are aware of how much energy to put out and how much to not. And I give thanks in knowing that Kayla is moving into this wonderful balance of loving for self, and that the new energy of loving and caring for herself moves into more clarity, more confidence, of looking after that main element that moves in the direction of where she's heading. And I give thanks for this. And I give thanks by saying, and so it is. Amen. And I take a deep breath. Now, Kayla always asks too, usually about her son, which has had a bad cold, and now he's got infection. I forget what she said. I think she said his nose. I'm not sure. It was in what she wrote to me, and I kind of didn't put it down. It says release of all infection. Okay, we'll move on that, and to move into total health. I got 7. The numbers that came to me with this was 17, which is about balance. 10 is movement and change. And 5 is using the knowledge that he has. I just want to comment on that a moment. We all have knowledge within us, because this is not the only life we lead. We've led many lifetimes, most of us, especially if we're on a spiritual path. You don't come into a spiritual path of wanting to be at one with everything or to understand that why life's progress if you haven't had a lot of dings and dongs. It's like the old kind of thing, being beaten up a little bit, and you've been this, and it's like now we're transcending over that. We're learning how to deal with those in a much greater, quicker, easier way. And so what happens is that very often is that we get some knowledge, and then how do we balance that into the world of reality? And very often the changes that occur in our lives, it's like, what do we do with this? How does it fit in? What is it really meaning? What is it? So very often there's a lot of questions that go on. I'm putting a whole lot of question marks about how does this all fit together? And so I want, you can piggyback, sorry, blah, blah, blah. You can piggyback on any of the mental mind treatments that I do, because the energy, you can hear the words in your head as you watch or listen, and piggyback on it. Let it come in to you as well. So as I do this mental mind treatment for Jason around releasing the infections and to moving into total absolute health, we go like this. I know there is one power and there is one essence, and I know as I speak my word for Jason that the infections that are there from the stress and all that he has gone through is released, is let go. And it's a knowingness of letting go, not only in the head where the cold is and being, it's about letting the stress go from all the body. It's about letting the bones relax. It's about letting the muscles relax. And it's like allowing total health to begin to come forward. When you've had a lot of stress, very often we hold up through all the stress. And then when the stress is gone, that's when the body collapses because it doesn't have to hold it up. But the spirit can hold it up then. The spirit of connection, of knowing that each one of us is loved beyond measure, that can rise and carry us through that in between time, that time of when we still feel not well, and yet allowing the stress to leave so that we can embrace total health on all levels, whether it be mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. It can all begin to come together. I give thanks in knowing that Jason is in that, what would we call it, corridor of movement, a corridor of all the months and probably years actually of stress that have gone on is now let go of. And there is now coming into balance. And that's what I really like to see, the balance that is there with the knowledge and the awareness of knowing. And I just want to say the words, I am loved. I am loved. It's all he needs to know. Loved by himself, by those around him, and by the universal love force. And I give thanks as I release this thought, knowing that his healing is already being activated and completed. Kayla also asked for Diamond, her daughter-in-law now, and what I've got here, what I wrote down from what big long paragraph I got was acceptance of what is and trusting the universe to unfold for the highest and best for all. Highest and best for all was something I was trained a lot to say. I don't always say it for people anymore, or the highest and best that is activated, because I used to say for the highest and best, and I duck because the universe's highest and best often for me was like, I'd have to confront something of where I had to adjust. But I'm going to do that in this case because I think it feels right. So I got the numbers I got for myself was acceptance, having to make a commitment, a decision, and to let go of confusion. So it's a little, I've got acceptance, but I got a lot of confusion. And, it's when things are not always the way you really want them, or you have an idea of how they're supposed to be and they're not, that has a lot of adjustment in it. And many of us go through that in our lives. Many of us go through that in our lives because we expect something one way or the other. And then all of a sudden it's like, how come? What have I done? It must be me. What am I doing? And it may be just circumstances, So as I speak my word for Diamond, I know that the acceptance of what is and trusting the universe to unfold for her and everyone else's highest and best for all I have, for all, not just self, but for all of her immediate family, her new family, everybody. And it's by accepting this and making the decision to be aware of what's necessary. When one enters a family, there's changes that have to happen. When one leaves one family and comes into the other, how that works out, how that comes into being, all of those things begin to make sense. And I speak my word for Diamond right now. I feel a sense of relief, but I also sense a sense of fear. So we're going to ask that the fear is let go, and that trust in knowing that one power and that one essence, the highest and the best for all concerned, is always activated, but the awareness of what that all is are becoming to her forefront. and seeing, and that she can flow easily with it all. And for that, I give thanks. Taking a little breath here. I'm going to have a little sip of water because we're going into a little bit different topic. I had a text come through actually not too long ago from a good friend of mine who has a gal who's come to stay with her. And that gal's name is Eva Marie. Eva Marie, when my friend has studied with me so many years ago, I can't even remember how long it was. And she does similar work now. And she found that her friend who's come to stay with her for a while has been living outside of her body. So that took me back a little bit because I know I was not in my body from a lot of my childhood and part of my life. And often when we've had trauma as a child or massive disappointment or something that just jolted, we do that. It took me a long time to learn to come into my body and be right in my body. And it is very easy for me to go out. So I really work I have exercises that I do to ensure that I'm in my body the majority of the time. Anyway, the question that they're being asked here was, where is our consciousness when you are not in your body? Usually it's either above you, behind you, sometimes in front of you, but usually what happens, and it comes through trauma of some kind. I've seen it happen as a baby when the person was picking it up from its little cot or crib, whatever, and they dropped, it slipped through their fingers and they jolted it as they fell down on the bed and they came out of their body. Now, they weren't dead, but they weren't really in their body. It took them a long time to get back in as an adult when we found that out. So there usually is trauma involved. That's why. So it's around, it's there, but we're not, otherwise we would be dead. So the consciousness is around, but could be up here, could be in front of you, could be behind you, could be at your feet even. That part we don't know. So that's the question of where it is in your body. And by the way, this happens to a lot of people. Happened to me. I know I went through all that. Took me a long time to get myself back in my body. Took a long time. It wasn't comfortable. I wasn't used to it. I was more used to being out in left field somewhere. So the treatment that this friend wants is to anchor her in her body. And I'm going to treat that very gently when I come to it. Now, she gave me 3 numbers, 10, 11, 22. That's the Wheel of Fortune, Justice, and the Fool. The 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, is that life and how life goes around. But 11 is the Justice symbol where, depending which way we look at it, it is like making a decision or making a commitment to a path. The commitment here will be to bring slowly, I'm going to say slowly because you don't want to come rushing back in. That can be not good. To slowly come and amalgamate, and that's going to take some faith because you have to get used to seeing the world around you through your own eyes. And not your eyes up here or wherever they actually are. Sounds crazy, I know, but that's part of metaphysics, that you're not always in your body when you're supposed to be. Okay, let's see what the treatment says. I know there is one power and there's one essence, and therefore I know as we're all connected into the love force of being, I speak my word for Eva Marie. As I speak my word for Eva Marie, I know that her essence is observing, is watching from afar. And I also know with connecting to the love force, connecting whether it's a color that you love and you can feel the love within the color, whether it's a semblance of perseverance with yourself, as you slowly bring yourself back into an alignment with your body. One of the ways to recognize is putting your feet in your feet, your hands in your hands, your eyes in your eyes. Every day you wake up, you just take a breath and think feet in feet, hands in hands, eyes in eyes. What that does is help brings you back into your body, but you want to come gently. You don't want to come with a thud. You want to slowly get used to that rhythm of being in, of looking out your eyes at the world by feeling in your hands what's around, my glass of water, my tarot cards, whatever. What does it feel like? How is it? Tactile. But mostly getting your feet in your feet. I sometimes used to say feet and feet, bum and bum, because we sit down. So when we sit down, we need to have that and then run the energy from our backside, so to speak, down our legs to the bottoms of our feet. So I know that it is the desire to be whole. It is the desire to see the physical as it is. It is the desire to know how you really feel. It is the desire to commit to the essence of who you are. I give thanks in knowing, first of all, that Eva Marie is with my friend and that who knows what she's doing. I give thanks in knowing that her instruction to aid and help her today is the first day for the rest of your life. Every day is the first day for the rest of your life. Eyes in eyes, hands in hands, feet in feet, your bum in your bum. What will happen is that you begin to draw that which has been separated as an observer, where you've been, into the reality of our emotional body, our mental body, our spiritual body. And that love, which is there in the universe, is felt because it's brought in and it becomes at one with all there is. I give thanks in knowing that this works. I give thanks in knowing that the ability to be back in your body with love, light, understanding, awareness awaits you more and more and more. And you come into being. The key will be the commitment to feel. And the commitment to feeling sometimes can be overwhelming. But once you know how to deal with feelings, and I'm sure my friend knows how I teach it, which is the feelings is your way a body talks to you, and you name the feeling and let it go. And the body knows that you've heard it. But part of that is learning what the feelings are that come up. And that's the learning part of it. That's the understanding part of it. Okay, that was all the people that contacted me. Only they're learning. If you okay, get Norma first. Okay, so I'm just going to go as Marion. Maggie G. I mentioned Karen Lee. Karen Lee gave me numbers, which was great. Heidi B says hello to you. Karen Lee says thank you very much. So grateful for all you do, which I appreciate. I appreciate that. Kayla says thank you as always. Each treatment included so many significant points for us all. What a blessing you are. Well, it's nice to know that. Sometimes it feels a little isolated at times. And Lisa Marie Sky. Hi, Norma. I would love a treatment for, what have we got here? 1, 3, and 9. My life has become quite turbulent of late. Thank you. So we want peace and quiet by the sounds of it. I hope that's what you're wanting. Lisa Marie. Okay, now. One of the ones that says everything is possible for you because the love vibration is there. But the 9 tells me you need to look inside yourself. We are the instruments. We know where we're at if we listen and we pay attention. We always know our own answers. Mostly, though, we don't like our answers. And that's why we don't do them. Because it will mean we have to stretch our limits. We have to do something we don't particularly want to do, or whatever. But I really, truly believe that we do know our own answers. You know, it's interesting. You've got, 2 numbers here from the first 7. I'm just going to do a little promotion here. On Wednesday, I am looking at the first 7. Yes, it is 7. First, I'm doing 7, yes. First 7 of the higher arcana cards. And that is the beginning of the spiritual journey. And you've picked 2 of them, 1 and 3. Number 9 will come the next week. But anyway, you might want to make sure you at some point you look at those because you're going to learn a lot more than what I'm going to say here. What this tells me is that everything is possible for you, but there needs to be connection with the love source. You need to see bigger than you. Where before the lady's out over here, and so it's hard to get in and see. She might be really connected in many other things, but not in her own physical body. You need to become aware of that love force, of how it can heal and how it can make things easier, because we're a part of that. And it's like, but then you don't, it's kind of, we get, oh, yes, I want to do it. No, I don't want to do it. Yes, I want to do it. No, I don't want to do it. But actually, in point of view, that we need to. So my treatment for you, Lisa and me, Marie, goes like this. I know there is one power, and I know there is one essence, and I know we're all connected. This power is not separate, but we must invite it in. It is there. It does not invade. It does not come knock on the door and say, hey, I'm here. It's like you seek it. Seek and you shall find, right? You seek it. You know it. Okay, it's there. Let it in. We use color, or at least I do a lot with my clients, use color a lot to get it in. We know that it's there, so we bring it in. When I discovered it, it was like, oh, I've been looking for you for eons, it seemed. But anyway, it was like I knew I had to get that love energy inside it. Never mind that it was out there and reachable. It needed to be in here. It needed to be part of me. I need to be able to go into it at any given times. And that is what you are needing, Lisa Marie, is to open yourself to the universal love force so you can love yourself, so that you know what you want is from your mind is doable. You can support yourself. You can do what needs to be done. You have all the tools. You have the keys. You need to use them. Sometime it can be just that one little statement. Today is the first day for the rest of my life. It's funny that came to me the other day, so I guess it needed to come out. And know that you're loved for whatever it is you attempt to do. It doesn't matter. You're loved. You're supported. You need to allow that energy in to support you. I give thanks in knowing that for each and every person that listens to this, knows this, and hears this, that they recognize what Lisa and Marie is, that she's important, that she's loved beyond measure. So breathe it in. I like to use color because I work well with that, but not everybody does. But allowing the love in, allow it in, and it will be wonderful. It will all come together. And so it is, as I release this, knowing it's true and done, you will be. And Karen, how nice to hear from you today. 22, 8, and 10. Oh, thank you for being here. Just taking a breath as I think of Karen, who has been such a support from the get-go, with also Karen Lee and Marianne and Kayla, and go on and on. Anyway, Karen, what I like about this is that, the tarot, the Fool, the Strength, and the Wheel of Fortune. What I see here is that you, as we know, you've already done your big transition, but you still have to now keep going. Is that law of love, that law of understanding, of faith, having faith to step out, having faith to open your mouth sometimes when really all you want to do is run out the door. Having faith and knowing no matter what and where and how it looks, that you are loved and supported, and you can step off and be supported because you know how to create union between above and the physical. You know how to balance that. You know how to pull it together. You know that you have to be like the hub of the wheel as life moves around. You don't go on the wheel. You become the hub of the wheel. And you use your strength. You use your faith. You use all that you have. And I'm going to use a funny word here, to manipulate the energies. all of a sudden I've got my hands full of energy. I'm thinking, oh, good, I'll throw it in my arm. But it's like, it's very much like what a healer does. They create this energy globe. And it's even bigger than my biggest ball, crystal ball. And it's like, make your hand, okay, I'm going to pull my hand up. Make this a ball of energy in your hands full of love, and then put it up here over your head and allow it just to come into you. I think the step that you're looking for here is a balance of the ideology into the pores of your body. And that fits in with what I did a little earlier for Eva Marie. That's another step, that just allow that in and feel the relaxation and feel the knowingness of knowing you're loved, you've got the power, you're able to become like that center. Look at the Wheel of Fortune again. Look at the center. Never mind all the other things around it or how fast it goes or where it's heading. It's a one number, so it has action. But you got to be like the core. You got to know what it is. You got to know where it's going. And sometimes we have to stand firm in that, because the world out there is crazy sometimes. I hear things I can't believe people think. I mean, did they do any study, really? Do they have faith, really? You have faith. You are able to balance. And boy, my hands go again. You can balance all the energies. I'm going to say, take it in. Put it over yourself. Let it in through the pores of your skin. Become it so that you can activate from there. You can become all that you want to be in any which way. It doesn't matter what it is. You would do it. I give thanks in the knowing this. I give thanks in knowing that Karen is claiming 100% who she is, no matter what anyone says or does. And I look forward to, I got tears in my eyes. I look forward to hearing of the next step of the journey. I truly do. And I look forward to having you here every week showing up. Bless your heart. Love you. And that's it, gals. I hope nobody else is coming in because I'm done. Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you. And Karen, thank you for that. That was good. Lisa Marie, thank you so much. I do love the thank yous, by the way. I don't pretend that I do like to hear that. It makes my work feel like I'm doing something and that people appreciate. And we all like to be appreciated and know that it adds value. And then Karen says, thank you. Thanks, Hero Fighter. Oh, gosh, that's good. I have to tell you, I was sitting watching American Idol before it was time to close. I'll finish it. I haven't finished it yet because it was from 5 to 7, and I have to leave to get ready for tonight. And I was typing with one finger, so you can imagine, because I had quite a lot to do today, and I didn't have a late afternoon painkiller. Anyway, the singing last night, yes, was good. Tonight, absolutely magnificent. And if you have a chance to watch it, just sit back and watch these young people, because they're all under 30 and most of them are 14, 15, 16, etc. And it just makes you aware. If you can move beyond your limitations, you can do it. Anyway, I remember stepping out on the stage. I used to dance in a small group, local group, but I remember speaking when I started speaking to bigger groups, and a lot of it, and I loved it, and it was great. But it's like you'd get nervous sometimes before you go out to meet this audience that doesn't know you. They don't know who you are from anywhere, and just knowing all you can do is speak your truth or see things as they were, because often I was doing sort of readings as well. And it's just know that you have that talent no matter what it is. So if you have an opportunity tonight, listen to these singers. It's very, 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 very enjoyable. I will go back now and finish watching them. Lots of love for the week. As I said, on Wednesday, I'm talking about the first 7 of the Higher Arcana cards. I always think that's really important because everything begins. We don't begin in the middle. We begin at the beginning. And so the next 3 weeks we'll be doing that. But just enjoy life. Be happy. If you got to see the equinox today, I got to see it a little bit on TV because I was out seeing the doctor and stuff today. But it's like, just know that life carries on. The sun went dark for a while because the moon crossed in front of us, and our lives go dark sometimes, very dark. But the light always comes. And where does the light reside? Inside who we are. And we've seen by tonight, by many of the things, that's how we radiate the essence of who we are. Wishing you well. Want to thank you for your comments. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, passing this on and sharing, whatever it is that you do. I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. Amen.